Happy Monday, everyone. And so today, you saw the title. I watched Amber Rose's video maybe a few weeks ago or last week. I don't know when it came out. But it was the Walk of No Shame, and it was on like Funny or Die. And I happened to see it. I don't mind Amber Rose. I don't mind any of these women. I don't mind your Kim Kardashians of the world, your Corinne Steffens. I like them just fine. And she had the video where she talked about, you know, it was a fun way of saying that you shouldn't have shame of having sex and then leaving in the morning. And then I happened to see another video of a young woman who was absolutely appalled by that video. She used words like whorism, sex farms, and then talking about the history of black women being overly sexualized, and she was just very upset by it. I don't know who is Amber Rose's audience, and maybe it is teens, and you know, I'm not a teen growing up, but this is what I do know. There's a big problem that we have in shaming each other and shaming women, and there's a big problem that will carry on. You know, there's going to be a group of teens who apparently will be the whores influenced by people like Amber Rose, and then there's also a big set of women who will be so influenced by the judgment and the shaming that they'll never actually understand their own sexuality. They'll grow up, they'll become women, not have orgasms, not know how to enjoy themselves sexually, be sexually confused, hating to have sex, having sex and being confused afterwards. And so there's so both sides really aren't, they're kind of creating this funny kind of division. I like what Amber Rose was attempting to do, and I like what she's trying to do in ending the idea of slut-shaming. I'm down with that because I don't understand why we feel it's important to shame a woman who has sex with high-powered men, or who has sex with multiple men. Why is that your business? Why is it important to shame? If you're really concerned about teenage girls, then maybe you shouldn't be shaming these women. Maybe you should be sitting down and talking to teenage girls about their bodies and learning what sexuality is about and all of these important things. But because a teenage girl is either going to want to rebel, okay, or she is going to repress herself, or she's not part of any of this kind of societal stuff, and she'll find her own sexuality in her own way. Those are the special teenage girls. Those are the ones that get away from all this stuff. But the people who are caught up in the fold, who have a lot of influence around them, whether it's through media or whether it's through home, family, and church, those are the people whose sexuality is also subject to extreme changes in which shame becomes a big part of it. So today I'm going to give you, I'm going to tell you how to have shameless sex. I think it's so important that we have shameless sex, so I'm going to tell you how to do it. And I have some notes here. And the first thing I'm going to say to anyone, masturbate and get to know your body's sexual and erogenous zones. Really get in there. Have a regular masturbation practice. And the thing about it is do it without external stimuli. I'm not talking about leaving toys out, even though I think it's a good idea. You know, using just your fingers and just what you have is a really amazing way to understand the body, and understanding all that you are given with just you. And using your mind to create any extra stimuli, maybe to enhance the arousal experience. Using external stuff, once again, is going to actually kind of interfere with you being able to learn your body on a deeper level. And that's the key, to learn your body and to learn how you respond to sexual stimuli, and what you like, and where your pleasure zones are, and how this body actually even works in a sexual way. This body is very sexual, so explore it. Meditate to know yourself. Meditate, and what you can do is meditate on your held beliefs, your held sexual beliefs. Meditate to explore any sexual traumas that you might have experienced. There's a lot. That's something that people don't talk about. A lot of these women who are considered to be whores have had very traumatic sexual experiences in their childhood. No one wants to talk about that part, but you can judge them all day long. And so what they've learned about their sexuality and how they come into it is really the best way they can. I'm not going to judge them. That's absolutely ridiculous. So meditate to figure out what's going on within you. What are your sexually held beliefs? What do you think to be true? Meditate to observe yourself. Now here's another meditation, and this is the third one. Go out and pay attention to how many times you become sexually aroused in a day. Okay? That means for women, every time that vagina tingles just a little bit, pay attention to when it happened and what were you responding to and why did it happen. Was it an external stimuli? Was it something you heard, something you saw? Was it a thought that just popped up in your head? You know, what was that? What was your body responding to? And just monitor it. You do this because you actually begin to learn that these are very sexual bodies. And you can look at a banana, you might be turned on. You might look outside the window, you might see two birds just sitting there looking at each other. And for all you know, you might get a tingle. You might be watching a TV show and watching a kiss. You might see someone hold hands. Who knows? You might hear the words financial planning and there's a big tingle happening right there in your vagina. Pay attention to what actually gets you going and what's your stimuli. Okay. And try to count it. Observe your body. Then only have sex when you are ready and when you really want to. Don't have it any other time. You won't have any shame after that. Use protection. Use the protection that's working for you. Do you want to have children? There's so many options out there. You have the condom, the vaginal condom. Of course, you can have regular condoms. Then you have birth control. All these things factor in. Use protection. Okay? Keep society out of your sexuality. So the Amber Roses, the other girl who was so opinionated, your pastor, your mother, your father, everyone has absolutely nothing to do with your sexuality. Keep them out. You are too busy figuring out you, this body, what it does, how it responds. That should be your focus. No one else has a say in any of that. Okay? This is a really good one. Only choose sexual partners who you want to create with. Now, one time I heard that, you really want to choose a man or a woman that you want to have children with. Well, some people, depending on your age, depending on what your body can do, some people can't have children. Some people have passed that point. And yes, grown women still have shame about sex. So that's why I'm not counting anything out. And some people might be on birth control. And they're like, well, I don't have to worry about having children. So I'm saying only choose your sexual partners that you want to create with. Because sex is all about creating. When you invite someone else into the fold, you guys are creating something. So I say choose someone that has some attributes, that has fascinating things about themselves, maybe a knowledge base that you don't quite have, different things, and create with them. Choose someone that you truly, truly want to create with. Now, if you don't like that person and you find out they don't have things that you actually even really enjoy or want to create with, then leave them alone. Once again, you won't have any shame. Choose someone you want to create with. Now, here's another thing. Discuss an after-sex plan. Now, one of the big things that she was talking about is what? The walk of shame. Discuss an after-sex plan before you have sex. The thing is, what I notice is that no one ever talks about you actually having conversations with this person that you're going to be having sex with, even if it's a one-night stand. To me, if it's such a kind of one-night stand, wham-bam situation, then you should be able to have a wham-bam conversation saying, okay, how are we going to do this? Where are we going to go? What do you like to do after sex? How do you like to do things? This is what I like to do. This is what we're going to do. Am I spending the night? Am I not spending the night? How are things going to be arranged? All these things. Why not? your tingles are still going to be there, because if you really set out to have a one-night stand, then you have already set that in motion. Why not have a wham bam conversation and determine how you want that to actually happen? That's very important. But having that conversation is also important in any kind of sexual encounter, whether it's you having sex with someone for the first time. Find out after sex behavior. Okay, that's so important. One person might want to quickly take a shower directly after sex. That might be absolutely insane to you. Another person might feel that immediately when it's over, the lights must come on, and you might feel that may not work for you. So maybe there's a 15-minute cuddle period. These things should be determined, discussed, and agreed upon. And you probably will be a lot more orderly, because I never really understand the whole broke down woman who leaves in the morning, that image, because honestly, I've never had a walk of shame. I don't understand the concept of walk of shame. But then again, I don't find sex to be shameful. Okay, so that's probably a big reason why there is no such thing as a walk of shame in my life. Okay, because it's not a shameful thing. It's natural. Our bodies are sexual. Come on. And so then the last thing that I'll say is this: don't judge other women. The judgments that you place on someone else will come right back onto you. Do not judge other women. That's why I started off saying I don't have any issues with these women. There's a reason why, because I'm not going to judge them. I don't know what they've been through. I don't know their life. I don't know what sex means to them. I don't know any of these things. I don't know what they're here to learn. I don't know any of it. So who am I? And if I'm really concerned about the teenage girls in the world who are looking at these women, then I need to talk to the teenage girls, and I need to do things like make videos that actually teach them how to do these things. So then I'm going to say this: if you can't do any of the things that I've said on my list, you're not ready to have sex. If you don't know your own sexual pleasure, if you don't know how to meditate and know yourself and work out any sexual kinks that you have, if you don't know how to deeply understand your own sexual arousal, if you don't know how to have a conversation with a man about sex before you have sex, if you can't do any of these things, then you have no business having sex. If you don't know how to get protection for yourself, if you don't know how to put yourself on birth control, if that's a choice that you want to make, if you're not able to do any of these things, and you're not ready for sex. How about that? If you don't know how to choose someone that you actually want to create with, you're not ready for sex. And guess what? If you're not having that sex, you don't have to worry about shame. So then that's another way to have shameless sex. And the last ultimate thing I want to say is that purity is a state of mind. Purity is a true state of mind. I say it's for everyone who's so caught up on being pure, being a virgin, or being a certain way. Purity is a state of mind. No sexual experience is ever going to be the same. Every sexual experience is going to be brand new, always different. There's always something different that can be brought to the fold. What you ate that day, all these different factors can get into it. What you were thinking, what you weren't thinking, the person, how do they smell, what do they not smell like, what does your breath smell like? All these different things are going to factor into your sexual arousal and the sexual experience. Did you work out all day? Did you not work out? Are you in shape? Are you out of shape? All these factors. So there's no sexual experience that will ever be the same. So therefore, purity is a state of mind. And when you think about purity, I say think about it more as you releasing the past and allowing yourself to be in the present. That to me is a true aspect of really having true purity. The concept of virginity is a lie and a joke. All these things have no factor into what, if you want to be a virgin, you can be a perpetual virgin just like myself. It's purity. Purity is a state of mind. Every new sexual experience is new, plain and simple. You can never repeat it. It can never be done again. Okay? It's a brand new situation every time you come in. And that's it. So I hope everyone enjoyed this video, and I hope you pass it along to those teenage girls who apparently are being so easily influenced by everything and anything. How about I just throw my little spot of influence out there, and if you can't do any of the things that I've said, then you're not ready to have sex. Work on those things and then see what the world has to offer you in the world of sex. Okay. Happy Monday. Check out my videos. And by the way, I do love to work with young girls and learning to have body confidence and just confidence about themselves in general. So that's a part of my life. And have a great week, you guys. Bye.